This is a great image of a respectable, classy, beautiful woman.
For you to point out this well-dressed sister here to make me feel some type of way about myself becomes a problem.
Let me get you.
Reason I have never said I do is because I don't.
I've been married, and I couldn't sign up for bad sex.
Test drive.
So if we enter a relationship with anything that's about me, then I don't believe that we're ready.
This program is brought to you by Keya Graves Seafood and Steak Restaurant, located at 10 North 9th Street in Darby, Pennsylvania, right off of Main Street. We have Sunday brunch on Sundays at 10 a.m. We have a delicious seafood and steak menu, and host your next event, wedding reception, or party at Keya Graves Seafood and Steak Restaurant, located at 10 North 9th Street in Darby, Pennsylvania, right off of Main Street.
Hello, everybody. I'm Danielle Patterson, and we're still single on Saturday night. You've been with us for a couple of weeks now, but I'm going to ask the panelists to introduce themselves briefly, and we're going to get right down to topic.
I am Shelly Williams, definitely single on a Saturday night. Not sure if I'm loving it, but I'm single.
My name is Yana B, and I'm definitely single on a Saturday night. Hopefully not for much longer.
My name is Melisha Cheatham. I've been single for a lot of Saturday nights now. Hopefully that will change soon.
Pastor Michael Heath, happily married.
Nikki Phelps, happily married and dating.
I'm Joe Carter. I'm single, but it looks like some good-looking ladies in here tonight.
I'm Karima Dawson. All of you know me as Miss K. And yes, I am happily single. I am a business consultant, very successful, and I have acquired millions of dollars of funding for nonprofit organizations and different businesses throughout our city and tri-state area. Thank you.
I'm Sean Fisher, definitely single on a Saturday night, ready to mingle whenever you're going to get him night.
Well, we're very happy today to have our panelists. Today's sound is being provided by DJ Romy Rome and DJ Greg Nice. Don't miss them on the Tuesday Night Mix Show on WEB 88.1 FM.
And we're going to go on there. Single on a Saturday night, we're going to be on there, right?
From 9 to 12, I don't know if I can stay up. But okay,
we're going to be on there.
Yeah. Well, today, our topic is a little bit provocative, as is our primary guest. She's going to tell you all about it. Seated to my left is Miss Nikki Phelps. She's an author, and she wrote this book here, XXX. It's about non-traditional unions, y'all. You know, all that stuff we ain't supposed to talk about. Swinging and threesomes and how to have polyamorous relationships. So Nikki here is a therapist, and she's decided to expand our horizons and to help us explore and to understand some of these alternative lifestyles. But just to tell you about Nikki is that she is a mental behavioral therapist as well as a motivational interviewing therapist. So she's got lots of experience, not just her own, but also in the folks she's tried to help. So Nikki, can I ask you, what led you to actually write this book?
The reason I wrote the book was because there's not a lot of information out there written from a black woman's point of view as far as dating, as far as being in an open relationship, as far as swinging, as far as having multiple relationships. There's nothing there, there's not a lot out there that I could find that, you know, spoke to me in my situation.
Well, what was that situation?
I was happily married and I wanted to date.
Okay, well tell us about that.
Well, the first thing I have to say is a lot of people have their opinions about what marriage is and what marriage isn't. All I can say is I've been with the same man for 21 years, so I must be doing something right. I'm not with him because I have to be. I'm with him because I choose to be. And not only because he was the last man I was ever with. I can go out with someone today and say, you are a wonderful person, but you know what? You can't compare to what I have at home. And it's nothing like that. A lot of people in relationships feel trapped. I don't feel trapped. I enjoy life every day, no matter who I'm with and what I do. And I don't lie to my man. We don't lie, for the most part.
So that's pretty much the same thing that Jada was feeling, you know, when in regards to swinging and all those type of things.
Now, swinging is a little different. Swinging has to do with more sexual experiences. We're married.
You're dating and you're married, so there's no.
Well, dating is not having sex. Let's get that clear.
If dating with me is having sex, I don't care what you're talking about. You're not dating. Listen.
Okay. Well, let's put it this way. No, to me, dating is an opportunity for me to decide whether or not I want to have sex with you. And there are very few people who I decide that I want to have sex with.
And I think I'll be one of them because
are you
I'm
able
that kind
to?
of,
I'm sorry. In your open relationship, are you able to? Is a written rule that you're allowed to have sex if you wanted to? Just so choose to.
Yep.
So you could so choose to go whatever and do.
Yep.
But that's swinging then, wouldn't it be?
Yep.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Let's just
swinging.
Let's just bring that back because I think
right?
that the difference is that Nikki has told us that she's polyamorous, and that I know more than one love. So just taking it down to the most basic, and so no, but swinging is more about more than one sex partner, and I think that we as a society need to just kind of, think about what it is that she's saying, what it is that need that has been met. One of those things that we just talked about on another show is whether or not we could find everything we were looking for in one man. So maybe the question is, can we find everything we're looking for in one partner? Now, let me just tell you why I just came here, is that I came to this conclusion. Because originally when I heard this, I said, oh, really? So what they do with that? Because we automatically think about the sexuality of it. But I tell everybody all the time, I got a wife and you need one too. Because these are the women that you turn to when you need help. These are the people that you turn to when somebody doesn't understand, you're having a difficult time. So is that being polyamorous? And so that was actually, when I was reading the parts of her book, that was what I started to think about. All these female relationships that we spend so much time cultivating, is that a part of the polyamorous? Tell us about it.
It can be. I like to meet people and take people at face value. We all have boundaries, and I think my boundaries are a little looser than most people. When I meet you, I just want to get to know you. I want to get to know the essence of you, your personality, and I don't want to have all these rules and restrictions that say you can do this, you can do that. You can touch them, but you can't kiss them. You can smile at them, but you can't wink at them. I mean, for me, I just, I'm going with the flow. I need to know who you are as a person. But at the same time, at the end of the day, I do have a responsibility to the man that I did take my vows to. I don't want to lie to him. He knows exactly who he's with, and he knows exactly who he's getting. I can go out and have a wonderful day and a wonderful date, and then I just made it something dirty and ugly by going home and say, yeah, me and the girlfriends just went out and watch the movie. That's not who I am. I want to share that experience. I met a nice fine brother who made me laugh, and we went to the park and we had a drink, and it was just wonderful. 9 times out of 10, if I have a good day, guess who's having a good night?
Okay, Timmy, I see you had a question out there already.
But can I?
Or is this just because why marry?
Because
what you're doing is still being single, but with the name of being married. I'm confused in that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Why marry? Because I am the daughter of a pastor, and I was told a long time ago that's what you do. You get married, you have kids, and you go on. With the mindset that I have now, I probably wouldn't have gotten married. Would I be in a committed relationship? Yes, I would be in a committed relationship. I like being in a committed relationship. I like coming home to my man every night, but I don't need a piece of paper paper to qualify who I am and what we have. And to me, my piece of paper, if you look up the definition of the institution of marriage, it's a reason why it's called the institution of marriage. It was something that was instituted by man. When you go back and you talk about biblical times, when people got married, there was not this big ceremony. It was just you got married because God put you together. You didn't have a piece of paper, a decree, where you had to pay to get married or pay to get divorced. That's a cultural thing that we go through now. Your marriage is whatever you choose to make your marriage to be.
Again, I'm a minister's daughter as well, but I think that's by choice, not by what
I love that word.
because this is 2011.
Yeah.
That's completely different.
I love it.
12, you're right.
I love that word, choice. You have the choice to live your life however you choose. And I have the choice to live mine. And like I said, I don't know, I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying I'm wrong, but I'm saying I'm happy. I've been with this man for 21 years and we're happy.
But if you're happy,
I think that what she's saying is that, I mean, it is a confusing concept, definitely because it's outside of our bounds of what we consider to be normal. But I think that what she's talking about is this is the normal that she and her husband have been able to find to try and keep their marriage going.
But what happens when you find somebody and, I mean, because I'm looking at you, right? You look like you got a good-looking body.
Okay.
You know? I mean, seriously. Okay. I mean, you look like you got a good-looking body.
Okay.
You look like if you was naked right now, you would look scrumptious.
Ooh.
Watch out now.
Oh, no.
All right,
But what happens?
all right.
What happens when you're out on a date with another man and he's thinking about doing all these things to you? And do you, I mean, you have to act on it sooner or later. I mean, you're saying that you're in this marriage for 21 years, but I don't know. It just sounds crazy to me. That's all. It just sounds, to me, I don't know about everybody else, but it sounds crazy to me.
Well, Frank, we had a question over here. I'm sorry.
I mean, is it basically you guys are married and you both have that choice where you can go out on dates, or is it just you allowed to go out on dates? And
we actually both have that choice, and we also respect each other enough that if he wants to date someone who I'm not comfortable with, I'll ask him not to do it, and he won't.
So now what happens when you meet that person that just sweeps you off your feet, makes you laugh, makes you, smile, makes you do all these things, and you're like, damn, I don't think I need my husband anymore. I like this one. Do you act on that? Do you run with it? Do you start marrying him, or do you just always go on dates with him while your husband home?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have not yet met a man that made me feel like I don't want my husband. My husband has a place in my heart, and I don't know if there's any other man that could replace that.
That's because you haven't met just Frank.
Okay, but to answer your question, when I do meet that man that sweeps me off my feet, I have enough love to go around that just because I have feelings for you and I love you doesn't necessarily mean it takes away from the love that I have from someone else. We were born into this world with two parents. I love my mother and I love my father. And I don't love my father any less to love my mother anymore.
Oh, I have a question. We talked about this before. And you said you were a preacher's kid, PK. And in the biblical sense, like God said, don't do this. Don't fornicate, don't do this. I understand you're married, but how are you going to go outside the marriage and be with somebody else? How does that work biblically? I mean, I'm just asking biblically. I don't know. Is it adultery? Is it a sin? Do you go to hell? I don't know. I want to know.
Well, first of all, no one actually knows about what happens after you die if you're going to go to hell because you had sex with someone that wasn't your mate. You don't know until you get there. That's true. Okay, and I'm also, because I'm a therapist and I went to school and I have my master's degree, I actually studied religion. And I don't want to go too much in this topic because this is a whole nother topic. The interpretation of words is a powerful thing. And just to give you an example, if you read a sentence that said, we had a gay old time, if it was written back in the 1600s, it means something completely different than what it means today. And a lot of things that are written in biblical terms, when you become a scholar and look at a lot of things, you'll see things a lot differently. And like I said, that's a whole nother topic. Well, we can't even go there.
We're going to stay on this topic right here because I think Mia has a question about this topic.
Yeah. I actually don't have a question. I have a comment. Nikki Phelps has been a friend of mine for many, many years. I personally only live my life in a monogamous way. But what I want you all to know is, because I know all sides of her, you have to, and it took me a while to wrap my head around this, but you have to understand that everybody has to do what's best for them. I personally am very non-judgmental. So because she's my friend, and I didn't know these things when we became friends, but as I learned these things about her, that didn't make me look at her any differently. That's how she and her husband choose to live their life. It's not for me to say that that's not what the institution of marriage is about, because that's what works for them, and that's what they believe their marriage is about, and this is how they operate. So we're saying that I would not conduct my marriage that way. No, right now I'm actually single. But I just need you all to do what I did. Step outside the box for a minute, read the book, and just understand that she basically put this information out there for informational purposes only. For the people who always wondered and didn't know, or had questions and just was like, well, I wonder how this works, I wonder how this works. It takes a lot to live your life this way, because although you set these boundaries, there are sometimes that scenarios pop up that partners never dreamed would come up, because each day things are constantly changing. So we're saying that they've been able to do this for many, many years, and they've adapted to many things that have popped up in scenarios that, like when she comes to me and we talk, she comes to me with problems that none of my other friends have, because her life is totally different than everybody else that I know. But at the same token, I don't judge. I sit back and I say, okay, let me think about this. Let me come at this from a common sense standpoint. This is what I would do if I was in that situation. But just keep an open mind is what I'm saying. It's just information. It's not to sway anybody one way or another. It's just to let you know that there are alternative lifestyles and people live them.
And I think it's very important that we accept diversity. And I mentioned this before, that the importance of accepting this diversity in marriages and family structures, it's imperative, because if you look at history and you look at Africa, where most of us came from, and in certain civilizations in Africa, women were the rulers. You know, normally, conventionally, a man, if a girl wants to marry, she goes to her father, and it's arranged marriage. And certain cultures in Africa, they believe that, or certain villages, they believe that a woman is the one in control of what goes on in the household, and she's the one who makes the decision. So I understand, the concept of a woman being able to be in control of certain things, because it's a part of our nature. And that's what it appears to be also, it's authoritative, that this is how we live our life, and it's how it's supposed to be, how we want it to live. And we have to be acceptable to diversity and dealing with certain family structures.
We've been waiting to hear from Mr. Amira back here, who's waiting with bated breath to get her turn. So what you got to say, girl?
I may not totally agree with your lifestyle, but as your friend so delicately put it, it's a choice that I think two that are in that situation has to make. Is it for me to judge? Because everyone in here took a deep breath, they sighed, and were ready to pass judgment. And everybody's hiding behind the biblical sense of it. But are we not supposed to pass judgment, which is also in the biblical sense? So whatever works for her, we should not downgrade on her, white, black, gay, or whatever. That's your choosing. Because I know on my judgment day, it's going to be my judgment day. I'm not going to be with anyone else in here on that day. So do you. Would I not be your friend? No.
No, you wouldn't be her friend, or you would not.
I said, would I not be her friend? No.
I liked you sitting with me at the table.
Let me rephrase that. Okay. But yes, we would be friends, because that's something that you do. I don't have to agree with that. That's just something within your personality that I don't have to deal with if I choose not to.
And most of us, if you think about it, we're all friends because of things that we have in common. You're not having sex with your best friend's husband anyway. You're not in their bed. So what we decide to do in our marriage really doesn't concern you. That's your marriage.
It's not even just that. It goes back to the word dating. If him and I are just friends, and we're going out, he said, let's go out for pizza. What are we doing? We're dating, are we not? Because we set a date to do something.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to interrupt, because
dating.
actually I get into this one quite a bit myself, because I think that I get in a little bit of trouble with this. Because I think that I'm not dating, I just think I'm going out. And I do, and I mean, I think that there are a lot of people who find themselves in this situation, and you know, I'm a real social person. Most of my friends are actually men, you wouldn't know it. And so I know, yeah. Well, you know, I got tendencies. Right. But anyway, so you know, so what happens is, I find myself with my significant other going. He goes, "Well, you went on a date." No, I didn't. I just put it in my book, and we said we was gonna go at 8 o'clock on Friday. Well, that's a date. Well, no, it's not, because there was nothing intended by it. So I think that, to me, it wasn't a date, but then I had to try and look at it from his perspective, like, no, baby, you still dating. Like, you seeing me, but you still dating.
That's because we're letting society dictate what the meaning of words are.
There again, we go back to the meaning of words. If I say it's warm outside, I'm sure every one of us might write down a different temperature. But what does it really mean to be warm? What does it really mean when you're married and you're out with someone else? What does that really mean if you're married and you have sex with someone else? What does it mean?
Special thanks to Q's Hair Boutique, located at 5815 North Broad Street, Philadelphia, PA. Q's Hair Boutique is a full-service salon providing the star treatment for any occasion. Please don't look any further for your next hair appointment. Call Q's Hair Boutique. That's 215-668-9800. In true celebrity fashion, Austin Photography snapped beautiful candids of all the single on the Saturday Night group. Austin Fine Photography is located at 4221 Main Street. If you would like to feel like a star, please call Austin Fine Photography at 267-297-7895. This program is brought to you by the following sponsors. Do you want to advertise your product or your service or your event right here in between the hottest show in America? Give us a call at 215-843-1984. Give us a call. If everything's a go, we'll have your commercial advertised on the next show. This program is brought to you by Keya Graves Seafood and Steak Restaurant, located at 10 North 9th Street in Darby, Pennsylvania, right off of Main Street. We have Sunday brunch on Sundays at 10 a.m. We have a delicious seafood and steak menu, and host your next event, wedding reception, or party at Keya Graves Seafood and Steak Restaurant, located at 10 North 9th Street in Darby, Pennsylvania, right off of Main Street.
This is Shelly. This is Urban Expression, Single on a Saturday Night. That's the name of our TV show. Single on a Saturday Night.
What
yes.
you do? What do the single do?
On a Saturday. This is what we do on Saturday night. We go on Facebook.
Oh, what do the single do on Saturday?
Oh, mess your song up, so. This is what we do. What do you do on Saturday night?
What do I do on Saturday night? If I'm at home,
Tell me the letter of Birmingham. Tell me the letter.
If I'm on Saturday we usually getting up. We up. If it's nice outside, we most always getting the grill ready. That's what we do in the country. We crank the grill up, and we do that during the day, and then we kick it at night.
You kick it at night?
On Saturdays.
On Saturday.
Yeah, most Saturdays we either out, because we got a lot of live bands and stuff in Birmingham.
But tell me about Birmingham then. Tell me.
Birmingham is the greatest place ever invented. If you've never been before, plane, train, bus, car, it all leads to one road. Birmingham, Alabama. This album that I'm putting out today is called Letters from Birmingham. It's one of my best bodies of work. I think, if not the best body of work I've ever put out. Compliments of, Ruben, Studdard, Harold Lilly, and Elvis Williams, put out to the world by the great Shawnee Records. Shout out to them. Gotta give a shout out to Randall Grass, Bill K. Song, Monifa Brown, Rick Rosenberg. Probably messing their names up.
Shout out to everybody.
Shout out to everybody.
The whole crew.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we worked hard.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And, a lot of times people don't get their just due, so I'm giving just due.
What's up, people? people? This is Living That Lady. I'm here with Chef Scott of Keya Graves, and we're here on Single on Saturday Night. And today we're going to let Scott tell us about what you're cooking today for us.
Today we're cooking a lemon ginger tilapia, and we're speaking about aphrodisiac. So ginger is a natural aphrodisiac. Sprinkle some ginger on top. Lemon juice is also a natural fat burner. And then fish contains omega-3, which is also a natural fat burner. With seafood, it's also like a white wine. I'll probably have a glass of Riesling.
Okay.
So you want to just brown it. If you're at home, you want to brown this in the pan. And then you can pop it in the oven with the spinach actually under it. And then the fish will flavor the spinach for you. Okay. You don't have to worry about like over-seasoning the spinach or anything like that.
Chef Scott, now we see that the fish is browning. What's your personal favorite as far as fish?
Me personally, I have to go with tuna steak. You have so many options. Like right now, I like cooking with capers and scallions, and you always want to cook it more medium to medium rare because it keeps like all the flavor in the fish. And yeah, so that's my personal favorite.
And as he says, it's good with spinach, good side dish, and that's a good healthy meal.
And we're back at Single on a Saturday Night. We're still in our intriguing conversation about non-traditional unions. We're here with our fabulous panel and Nikki Phelps, still exploring XXX. But we had quite a few comments from the back, and Miss Janine came up to us at the break. What did you have to say?
Well, I just wanted to say that when Nikki introduced herself and talked about her book, when she said that she's happily married and dating, you know, I didn't get bent out of shape about her comment, because I think that one thing that men and women need to learn how to do is to be friends. And I think that when I hear what she's saying about dating is that she may be going out on a date or socializing with another man that's not her husband. That doesn't mean she's having sex with him, but it helps, I'm sure, make her feel fulfilled as a complete person, because she's developing relationships and friendships with not just women, but men as well. And I think sometimes, I was married for 10 years, and when I got married, I cut off all my male friends. And I just felt like I needed to do that because I'm getting married now. And now that I've matured, I don't think I would ever do that again. If I got married again, I would maintain my friendships. I would introduce my husband to my friends, and we would all be friends. And I wouldn't just, you know, feel like I had to live in a box because now I'm married. And, you know, so I get what she's saying. When she said that, I didn't feel like it was like, oh, I'm out here just swinging from chandeliers. It was more, you know, I'm socializing. I have other connections. You know, yes, my husband obviously meets my needs. And I think what you were saying when you said, you know, you go out and have a nice day and then you come home and he has a good night, it is true. I mean, I remember when I was married, I would go out with my girlfriends or my cousins or something and just hang out and have fun, and then go home and be like, happy to see my husband.
Happier to see him, right?
Exactly. So I just think that, you know, I kind of get what she's saying, not in a negative way.
But just to bring it back, what about, you know, we said, okay, we understand it because we understand needing those other relationships, but Nikki, are there other sex partners?
In the past 21 years, I've had sex with 4 men that were not my husband.
And has your husband known about all of them?
Yeah, what's the point? I mean, if you're going to be in an open, honest relationship, why lie?
Now, did jealousies ever set in? Because that's what I'm just interested in. You know, how was he able to handle it? And when it happened to you, how were you able to handle it?
Well, I have to say, it was kind of unequal. Because I'm a therapist, I guess I'm more accepting when things on his end, and I have to give him a lot of credit, because I assume that I'm non-judgmental and I'm open and I'm all these things that everyone else is like me. But he's not a therapist. He's just regular Joe, DJ, go to work type of guy. And yeah, there were a lot of jealousy issues. There are things that you have to work out. Just because it's non-traditional doesn't mean that it's easy. When you're in a marriage, by no means it's not easy, and it's still work. It's just a different kind of work. How do you sit here and tell your wife that she's beautiful and he loves you, and at the same token, like, yo, but she's just as beautiful as you are? There are going to be some feelings that come up. But if you know who you are and how you feel and secure in your relationship, You don't have those feelings of being in competition. Like I said, we've let our love be our guide, and that's not to say that everything's been perfect, but I'm with my man because I want to be with my man. I go out there and see other men and I have a great time, but I have not met a man yet that was that man that said, you know what, you making me want to leave my home. That hasn't happened.
On what you were saying about the jealousy part of it, because in my marriage, I was lied to a lot, and there was a lot of cheating. And, you know, I would rather, at this stage in my life, I would rather you tell me up front that you think I'm beautiful, but you think this sister is just as beautiful. Don't play with my emotions. Don't, you know, tell me what you think I want to hear. Just be honest. I think your communication with your husband is probably better than most people, you know, have in their relationships, and that is because you keep it real, you know.
Yep.
And I think
That's
a lot
kind
of
of the
times
point that I was gonna
men
make.
try not to say things because they think they're going to hurt our feelings. We're so fragile, whatever. They don't want to see us cry. But guess what? You're gonna make me cry anyway if you're out here lying, cheating, and I find out. So,
or they're gonna cry because they're stuck here with you and they don't want to be.
Exactly.
Ms. Kay?
I would like to say that I'm going to pick up your book, read it, and reread it because I am intrigued, and this is something that I would do. I really would, and I'm being honest. In my 10-year relationship, I was always accused of cheating, and I never did. Just because I have a lot of friends, I attract a lot of male friends, and in my business line, yes, I do have to have afternoon lunches and things like that. And, you know, I grew up with 5 brothers. I just gravitate towards males because they're easier for me, you know? So if I can be in a relationship or a marriage and be able to go out to lunch or go see a show and all the things that I do anyway, what's wrong with that? Now, when it comes to the sex portion, I would be open with that. And I'm being honest because I know me and I know what I need. And hopefully I do find one of those guys that Steve Harvey says we need, the mandingle and all that, so maybe I won't have to have the sex. But, you know, you never know. But I am open to that, yes. I would be one of the ones that you talk about in your book that says Miss K is, what's the term?
Polyamorous.
I just like to say
I can see
alternative
that
lifestyle.
fitting because it's a lot of layers to Miss K. And I think one of those layers that will be added would be polyamorous.
Well, we had a question from the audience, a comment.
So what if one day your husband say he don't want to do that no more?
I'm sorry.
If he says he doesn't want to do that anymore,
Yes.
then it's time for me to start having conversations to try to find out why, to try to convince him that I'm not ready to stop. But if he wants to stop, we have to stop. But right now, we're on the same page. I'm happy, he's happy. We're just going to keep doing it. It's not today.
Ms. Yana?
I just think that, you know, for the lady that said over here that when she said this, that this is her life and this is her relationship, that everybody held their breath. I didn't hold my breath, primarily because I think that with relationships, I think what we each define what's for us. And as far as cheating is concerned, she has probably one of the best relationships ever because of the communication. Nobody in here, and I'm not saying anybody, but for the most part, most of the people in here, they don't understand what that type of communication is because most of us have never had it. I've been where she is. I've been in a situation where communication between two people is that extensive, where you can talk to your partner about if he went out with his boys and then he came home with phone numbers and he comes home and he throws the numbers on the table, and it's okay just because, what is cheating? Cheating is when someone is deceiving you, not when someone's telling you the truth about what they're doing. Communication, their communication, I don't know you very well at all, but I commend you for coming out with this wide open to an open forum for people that probably wouldn't understand that now will leave here thinking about it a little more.
I think
what? Let's talk about that. We're right back to our foundational issue about marriage. And then what is that relationship and defining it? I think it segues quite nicely right into what our Reverend Michael Heath here from Living Waters Ministry was going to talk to us about a little bit about marriage. What is it, and are you ready for it? Reverend?
Thank you. And I
good stimulating conversation, and I agree with what you said about, just my final comment before we segue, about interpretations of words and what society does, but we have to be careful to just away saying society defines marriage as this or marriage as that, and that's a bad thing, because I think most of us would agree that murder is murder. But that was another societal, institutional thing. So we have to be careful. We have to be very careful with painting with broad strokes and just using blanket statements and trying to put everybody into the same category.
We are single on a Saturday night. It's how it goes down, and I had one of the people who's been supporting us since day one. This is Miss Brenda Robinson. So tell us what you're working on right here.
Hi, I'm working on the Transfer 90 program, where you can get healthy, lose weight, and get yourself back to where you want to be sexy. We started out with Miss Shelley. Today she started this first step, and she's wearing a body mat. You can see how it's curving her. And her next step will be her shakes that she will take twice a day, and she will get these delicious brownie snacks and have it 3 times a day. That's what we're about. Healthy is the new sexy.
That's right, healthy is the new sexy. This is Miss Brenda Robinson. How can I get in touch with you?
201-563-2422. Healthy is the new sexy.
Healthy is the new sexy. And you see the curves? Thank you so much. It's Single on a Saturday Night, y'all. It's a Single on a Saturday Night right here at Keya Graves Seafood and Steak Restaurant, 10 North 9th Street. And we have someone who supported our event, which is Miss Teresa Peoples. Tell us about your business.
Well, my business is a handcrafted business. We make lotion, soap, shower gels. Everything is all handmade, and it's all natural.
All right, so how can I get in touch with you so they can get some of that natural smell good?
You can purchase our products on our website at www.urban-essence.com, or you can give us a call at 215-315-3184.
urban-essence.com. You heard it. This is Single on a Saturday Night right here at Keya Graves Steak and Seafood Restaurant, 10 North 9th Street in Darby, PA. Thank you, Single on a Saturday Night. Let's check it out.